Sahil, what's up, man? Sorry, I put it on public. I was like, you know what? I think we try to do a test run here. No black. When all else fails, just press different buttons and keep messing around, I guess. That was my lesson. Especially for newbie amateur like myself. So I'm just trying to concentrate on the feed too, just making sure that all the glitches are gone. All that Spectre Shock thing is going down. Oh, I just needed one more hit. The stream's lagging though. So the black bars are gone, but it's lagging. I think on my to-do list, the first thing is go on Craigslist and look up some media professional and just have them come over and ask them, set this up, please. When it's lagging, what do you mean it's lagging? Like, does the video stall or something? Watch out, dude. Okay, it was your device. What's going on, Mako? What's happening, man? I'm just trying to stream and test craft out, man. Crossing my fingers. I think I need to drop out of med school and go take a media class for like 6 months or something. Learn the basics at least. That'll probably be more like 2 years for me just to learn the 6 months of basics. Oh, get him. Oh, we need beacon bad, huh? Good lord. What's going, Sahil? Wait, 6 months. That's how long I feel like it would take me, 6 months. Sahil, you know what? I had ions, and I got them when they first... Well, that's just... I get everything when it first comes out. I'm not sponsored by Pixo, and I am financially irresponsible with War Robots and getting things when they come out. So I got the ions when they first came out, tested them at MK1, and because they were 600 range, and two things. Because they were 600 range, because the shock trains were so prevalent, especially with the bulges at that time, and this was kind of just before like the Spectre came out. I felt like the ions were super awesome, and was pretty impressed by them as far as how much Pixonic put into their damage. But then as I started using them more often, and then I ended up maxing them out, so I got into MK212, I was actually a little disappointed because it took way too long just to break down a bulge shield with them. And the only thing they were really good for was, you know, like the Hechis or the the Kumis. So I held on to them for a little bit longer. It wasn't until maybe the Dragoons came out that, as they fire at 600, that was just pretty much a better replacement. So I really didn't feel the need to have two 600s, one Dragoons and one Ions that pretty much do the same exact thing. And the Dragoons were so much more powerful, even though they're a heavy weapon slot. So I ended up selling the Ions just because I do a lot of consolidation, and then I use that. What do you get? Like 5% of what you put into it, but you know I use that 22 million for other upgrades. So as far as the ions go, I feel like if you were thinking about the ions, I would recommend for you to wait for the new weapons to come out in that new update. If you haven't used them yet in the new test server, I think they'll be kind of the new counter to a lot of the Spectre shock trains and everything else, especially because it freezes them at you know, you have that 20% chance of freezing them for about 3 seconds, and it has a range of 600. So it was pretty awesome. And they have a medium weapon slot and a light weapon slot. So I have a good feeling you'll see the light weapon slot on a lot of pursuers, and then the medium slot, of course, on your Spectres and your Bulges. And then the Storms. You know what? Storms is a funny one because I did get them out, and I think just by default I should just say, oh, here, let's use the Bulwark. So the Storms, I got them when they first came out, and they kind of reminded me of the days of the Carnage when you put the Thunders on them and you got real close and you could bust them up pretty much with that five shell burst. But then since I had it on a Spectre, I tried it on everything. I tried it on a Hechi, a Bulge, and a Spectre, and I was finding that they weren't exactly doing as much damage as I hoped it to do. They would do as the Thunders did on the Carnage. Like the Carnage, you could just easily whip out take out a Lance or a Rhino at that, when those times were more prevalent. But now, if I had the chance, I would take that back and I would actually keep them, because I'm not sure if they buffed it. I think I'm getting ripped up from all sides. Let me concentrate here. I'll say this is a good example. So I'm going to flip that shield on for the Bull, and the Thunder is just going to tear down that shield of the Bulge. And especially with the prevalence of the Bulge Scourges, dude, the Bulwark Avenger is just awesome. And then I'll just kind of recharge my shield. And the cool thing about the Bulwark is after it's fully recharged, if somebody shocks you, it just takes back off of the shield again. Yeah, the Shredder and Pulsar, that's what they're called. And yeah, I have a huge feeling they're going to piss people off. It'll probably be for a good thing. It'll probably piss the people off who use shock trains all the time. So have double the amount of pissed offness. And this guy's probably about to go. I think he's just been taking counter shock train hits. So I think we're down beacons. I'm not sure if this is Dom or BR, but let's see if we can start helping this team. The big thing, I think I put out a video, especially on Canyon map, is making sure if you're playing random solo and nobody has this flank, somebody has definitely got to take it. Otherwise, these guys that I'm pointing at right here, they just have a free line of sight down the middle and get nice and close to that home beacon and just start getting you so much trouble. And you're just hoping the team right here on the left is going to start pushing up and advancing as these guys start moving back. I think the guy that came with me just died though, so it's just me over here. But this is a really key spot, especially for just having map control. Just trying to check what kind of guys there are over here. I couldn't really see. This guy is just waiting to shock me in my booty. He is just Power Man is just waiting for it. And if nothing's going to happen, we're still down beacons. That beacon bar is getting down pretty low. Since he jumped, we have 3 people over here. That was probably a bad idea. I probably could have waited out a little longer. But I'm going to try to get rid of that Fury real quick. I think he's holding everybody up. Sorry, I haven't been getting to the chat just yet. And that guy's going to hang out in that little camper spot. I'm going to have to take the damage. And he's probably going to end up killing me. Which is going to suck bad. It's sucky. I'm going to see how long I can hang on to this shock train and make these people pay. So I'm not going to worry too much about this STBR. I think he's just looking for free shots. I'm going to take out whoever I can instead of concentrating on him because he's just going to waste time over there. And we need a beacon bad. I think he's coming for me, huh? Yeah, there he is. Alright, we're gonna... Oh boy! See what we can do with this Scourge over here. They have just dominated this map for the whole game now. Oh! I'm just getting eaten alive. So if you can tell with our beacon bar, if we don't get that beacon, I'm gonna die. But this game is pretty much over. So counter for the Hydras. So Sakil, now because what's going on, Daniel? Okay, so as far as the counter goes, the Hydras, it really depends on what map and mode you're talking about. But if let's just do one for instance. You're always going to see them in TDM, and especially on long map TDM, your Hydras are going to hang out probably as paired, either a Spectre or a Hetchy Hydra. As far as CDX goes, what we've tried to do is set up, obviously we'll throw in, you know, 2 sets of Hydras with somebody with a shield, so one of them may be a Hetchy Hydra. But we try to implement now somebody with Norcums. And the Norcums are a perfect one at breaking down the shield of a Hetchy. So then that way whoever has Hydras on your team can start nailing him, and then everybody just focus on one guy at a time. And then of course your Zeniths. It's almost kind of a sucky weapon to use just because they're really hard to hit with and they take a lot of timing, especially if the guy's like 800 to 1,000 meters away and he's moving. You're only going to hit about 30% of your shots, unless he's stationary, which doesn't really happen. So as far as a perfect counter to the Hydras, especially when they hide behind walls and they're like 200 meters behind their enemy all the way in their spawn, Norcums is the first thing that comes to my mind. One, especially if it's in a Spectre, you make him jump, so then that way he can't jump on his own accord. And that's the first thing that comes to my mind. And then as far as the Bulgasari, is it worth it now because you took it out so quick? Is that with the Bulwark Avenger? I don't think people are using the Avenger enough. I think one, just because of the price it costs. That's why I haven't maxed it out to MK2. What's up, Annis Game? I would love to max out that Avenger though and see what it can do. I think I have some boosts on. Really, I haven't been paying attention to boosts, only because if you've seen any recent videos, the only time boosting really helps is if you're in a squad and everybody is boosting. Because if it's just you boosting and you're in a random solo, you're only looking at, what was it, 5% for damage, and that really doesn't make it an MK3. Unless you're in a squad, then you get that 5% plus a stacked on 2% from everybody else, and that's where you get your equivalent almost 18% of damage increase, and that's what would make it an MK3. So it's really not going to be an MK3 unless you're in a whole squad and everybody's boosting. What are we on? Let me wait a couple seconds. I'll try to show you the Norcums if somebody's... I don't know if I have enough to protect my team though if I drop this hanger that you're looking at right now. I only use this really if I'm in like a CDX squad, just because I know that everybody else has some. But you know what? Let's use it for the hell of it to show you. So nobody on their team is really using Hydras right now, but the reason why I love Norcums, even though you'll probably end up with, like, for the whole game if you're in it, a max damage of, I mean, the most I've had is maybe like 5 or 600,000, but on the average it's like around 250 to 3. The best thing it's going to do is, one, if they're stationary. 2, it's going to force all these Spectres to use their jump. And the Spectres need their jump in order to position and get a good shot. So if you can take that away from them, you're kind of taking that advantage away from them, which is a really good thing. So with the Norcums, if they're stationary, you can kind of aim right by them, right on them. Just remember that anything less than 300 meters with a Norcum, you're not going to be able to hit. It's got to be you may be able to grab like something at 290 when they're charging at you, but if they're moving, it makes it really difficult, and you got to time it. And if they are moving, you got to keep in mind how far they are, because Pixonic does a pretty good job with their physics. If they're farther, then you got to aim a little farther ahead. If they're farther out, you got to aim a little farther ahead. Now everybody knows I got Norcums, and they're kind of chilling inside. I'm just going to kind of go buck wild with these Norcums so we can, because these can be a little boring. but they're pretty awesome. They're pretty fun. So one thing is they're really good at taking down Hetchy shields. So we'll try Core. I'm just going to see if he's going to move around a little bit. I'm only going to bust one because usually after Hetchies know that they're being targeted with Yorkums, they start busting out their dashes just like that. And if I were to fire all four, I would have wasted all those shots. And he probably has one more dash, so I'm going to wait for it. And so you can see how I'm aiming ahead. So if he were at like about 900, I would probably aim right there if he were moving towards that direction. So you got to aim out a little further further they're out. And it looks like everybody's kind of chilling inside now. The only other option I have is just by getting underneath somebody and trying to make some use out of it. So this Spectre is gonna, he wants to box and get crazy. So I'm gonna give him some love. And he just needs a love tap now. There he goes. As far as my style of gameplay though, I know everybody has different gameplay. I'm just going to kind of get rid of this guy if you guys don't mind. Because everybody's chilling inside now. Oh, I can see how pixelated it is. I know what you're talking about with the lag. Sorry about that. Alright, so those were the Noricums, kind of a gist on it. Nothing huge. Right now, I would drop the Hydras. I'm trying to look at if they got a crap load of Spectre shock drains. And that's the exact reason why I have maxed Hydras, is for all the Spectre shock drains. Because I know how much everybody loves them. And especially when they go to the roof, it can be a pain in the butt. So that's what I'm going to do, is use Hydras just to clear off their vantage point, getting that roof, and make them think twice about staying up there. So if you're thinking about, if you have extra gold, silver, you have an extra Spectre laying around, and you have some old Hydras, or you're thinking about Hydras, I would definitely recommend, if you're looking for a weapon to counter Spectre shock trains and stuff like that, definitely recommend the Hydras. You can use them in almost every single map. The biggest thing you have to do is get used to its physics and how to turn your bot in order to kind of get a, I like to call it a twist, a little bit of a turn to the arc of the Hydra and how it hits, especially if they're hiding behind cover. So I'll try to give you some examples like this guy. Nice Spectre shock train as an example. So I'll wait till he goes to his next cover, and I'm gonna so a cover like this, you gotta get, oh, he's going inside. Yeah, he's totally he doesn't want none of this, that's for sure. He knows what's coming. So I think case in point, all the Hydras are going to take those Spectre shock trains off the roof. They're going to get them hiding. It's exactly what you want. So that way they're not knocking at you, but mostly I'm a huge team player. I don't care about like my max score, as long as my team gets to the win. I try to prevent the other team from knocking off damage for my guys. So I'm kind of getting in a bad spot here, hoping my teammates kind of see him that there's a Spectre out in the open. I'm just going to give him the roundabout until I have my jump. One thing you have to keep in mind, though, as well, using the Spectre Hydra is not in a case like what's happening right now, but you can end up having that Spectre Hydra for the whole game. So you kind of have to look at, don't forget to look at the scores and see how your team is doing. If they're doing bad and you're not really hitting anybody, there might be a time for you just to drop it and get in on the action and start boxing. Nobody has extra silver laying around. No kidding. I feel your pain on that one. Oh my gosh. Pixonic has... I'm not trying... Well, I am talking crap about Pixonic, but it's not really talking crap. They did get ridiculous on the new update as far as how much it costs. And if you go to my Facebook, I even... For the first update that came, I think it was 4.0 when they first started bringing out the price increase. I did an Excel spreadsheet. It's disgusting, man. One example is the flux. In order to max out 3 flux to an MK212, it costs 800 million silver. And not too many people have 800 million silver laying around, that's for sure. So the reason why I left out of the inside coming around is because, see where all my players are, they're all inside. We really have no left flank, and if you notice that, I would say just take it upon yourself to provide that positioning. There's no use going head to head with these 5 guys. It gives you no tactical advantage, and it's really just a shot in the wind if your guys start getting kind of eaten up by Tulumba shots or whatnot. So, especially with Dreadnought in this map, this little middle zone is such a kill box. So, if you can help your team by getting on a left or right flank, then that might kind of change the course of what's happening in the game, in the dynamic. So right now we're doing a little bit better. And then of course, obviously, if you play Dreadnought, having the roof advantage gives you the vantage point. So that kind of worked out for us. Who's the dumbass who thought 5 hours from level 1 to 2 was a good idea? They deserve to be fired. It was probably the person who got promoted. At Pixonic, they're like, oh shit, that's a good idea. Man, let's do that. So they spend more gold. That guy's probably the manager of marketing now. So yeah, I mean, using Hydras and the Noricums right there, I really didn't use the Inquisitor at the end. 341, but as I said, there are times when I'm out to smash, but for most time, I usually play a team support type of style, especially on if I do solo random. And see if we can get some long maps. We've had a lot of short maps. I'm kind of surprised. What's going on, monster? What's happening? Sorry, I just noticed on chat. I'm practicing glancing back at the chat while I'm playing. So I apologize for getting to you a little late. What's up, War Robots Warrior? Warrior. That's a good. I like that. That's funny. Nothing to worry about, though, right? Nothing to worry about. Now we got Dom on the same map. All right. So we have some ballas here. So you know what? These Noricums, those things are a pain in the butt, and the only way to get to Noricums is with Noricums as well. And I'm not going to drop this hanger because it's not going to do my team any good. Oh man, what do you guys think? I'm just going to do this for the heck of it, just because I have no idea. Let's say why not. So there's the Vortex. So there's some pretty cool spots for the Vortex if you do use it. One is right here. Of course, Awesome thing about the orange cones is you can fire them up and they just flip up like a big old firecracker and go to the roof if you're trying to get somebody on the roof. But you can actually aim in diagonally. So I'm going to wait for Spectre. He's going to come up and he's going to get a little frosty. He might, or he's going to go after my buddy right there. But you can aim him into that tunnel right there, which is pretty awesome. I haven't seen too many other people use that. I'm going to make that Inquisitor jump. Alright. So we could kill Dark Warrior, but I'm actually going to try to knock off as much energy out of that Spectre as I can and end up killing him, just because he's kind of more overall threat to the team than this Inquisitor is. Inquisitor can't get away as well. And that Fury is just... Oh, he took like half my booty off. My goodness. So I could have gone forward and went for their beacon, but I think I would have died going there. Because that Shock Train Spectre would have rushed me. And then that 442 Spectre guy with his big old cannons would have just wailed on me in the corner. So I feel like if I can tack off a little more energy, wait out a little bit more time, and then I'll go ahead and just kind of suicide the Vortex guy as I grab the beacon. So I'm going to wait for that Spectre guy to kind of waste his shots, which he's doing right now. He's doing a good job at firing them one by one. It's pretty smart. I'm going to make that guy jump, and then I'll fire the rest at this guy. And then I'll kind of hide and see if I can at least turn it white since we're on Dom. And get some action right there. So it looks like we have mid. There's no reason for me to choose anything. I don't have anything else that's long. But I'm going to brawl just to make sure they don't take over mid. And I'm going to try out the Hetchy. I only have one Hetchy left. And you know what? I should have kept more of them. I think I had like 4 of them. And I got rid of a lot of them, especially after the Flux and Dragoon came out. And all the Spectre Shock Trains. There's really no point in using a Hetchy. Definitely in the champion level. It's just, they get ripped up so easily. But now, I've kind of tried to change up my gameplay style. And I really like the Hetchy as a counter to the Spectre Orkin. Does a pretty good job with if you're careful with your dashes and conservative with the shield and whatnot. You can at least take them out and then just kind of suicide them out. But those Spectre Orkins can... I just didn't want that Spectre Orkin to take out like 1 or 2 of my guys. Oh. No, I am not sponsored. As much as I would like to be, that would be awesome, but I don't think I have enough subscribers, or I don't think I've been around enough on YouTube long enough for them to sponsor me. I've sent them a couple videos of my latest ones that I did a lot of editing on, but I haven't heard a response. So yeah, as far as how I make my videos, I mean, I use everything that I have. It came out of my own money. Nothing. Pixonic hasn't given me bots or anything like that. And was going to comment on that later as far as the videos go. But I gotta make. Sorry, I got like ADD. I can't really concentrate. All these crazy things going on. So what I was going to say about being sponsored by Pixo and having all the bots, and the difference between what I feel is the difference between my videos and everybody else's videos is that I've watched some of, like, if you were to take, for instance, the Wayland video, I've watched a lot of the other Wayland videos, and then I feel like the difference is, whoa, sorry buddy, I just totally killed my own guy. The other videos give, you know, a really good description of kind of an introduction, and a lot of the videos are coming from test servers. So I feel like as far as the video goes, those videos go, and the way they play with those bots, they're not really playing in a true gameplay. Everybody doesn't have their own hanger that they usually use, and they're just using test server weapons. So you get a good idea of, you know, kind of what the bot looks like and whatever weapons are available in that test server to use. Whereas I try to make my videos a bit more realistic as far as how you would use it, depending on your game style and gameplay, and how you can adjust your gameplay based on that video and what weapons I use in it and how it was used. Since this is my last bot, I'm going to really try to be careful here because I kind of wasted through the other 4 just kind of messing around. And I got to make sure I at least take out, what, we got 1, 2, we got 3 guys over here. If I can take out at least of these 2 guys, I think my team should be pretty good. So we still got 2 minutes. We're good on beacons, so there's no reason to run out there and go crazy and just start trying to save the day. I'm going to see what I'm up against first, kind of think about what I'm going to do. And I got some good amount of dashes, and I can take about 1 guy. Oh, I got stuck though. I didn't get the chance to do it. If I were to play that differently, I probably would have stayed inside, let him turn it, and get a better vantage point. And then probably worked on the Bulgasari first, and then I would have worried about the Kumi. So where are we at? So yeah, Andy B, I'm not sponsored. And then Robot Warrior. You know what? Wow, if you could say your name 10 times in a row really clearly, I would give you a medal. Because that's Robot Warrior. Robot Warrior. Warrior. That's really hard to do. No, it's not a Battle Rec account. This is just my own account. I have one other account that I put on my phone just for the heck of it, because I just wanted to kind of play around and see the difference in working up the beginning bots again. And this was about a year ago. So if you were a year ago playing at like some of the lower levels, like expert level, kind of around level 25, my name was Rice-A-Roni. But I haven't played on that in like a year. Paintball Man, how you doing? Thanks for tuning in. Sorry, just did a little internal burp there. And Taylor, how much money have you spent on? If I got a nickel for as many times that I've been asked that question, and I've seen that asked online, I would definitely be able to reimburse myself the amount of money I've spent on this game. But I apologize that I don't know exactly, so that's my excuse for not being able to answer the question. Or it's my way of diverting from the question. Play the Wayland and the Mender. I will do that. I will do that for sure. Okay. As far as the Wayland goes, dude, I have a treat for you guys. I have spent over like 2 weeks, and I was rolling through like 70 hours of footage, and I tried to put every single thing, every single combination you could think of on the Wayland. So I plan to finish the edits tonight and get that baby up for you guys. But I actually had to split the video up. It was initially 40 minutes long on its own, and then when I split it up into 10-minute increments, I noticed that the first part was just a little shy of some, you know, love and care that I want to put into it, so it ended up 30 minutes longer. So, so the first video is now 40 minutes long. We'll take out the shock trains. We don't need shock trains. Everybody. It's okay if we don't win. And then the mender. Let's put the mender in. Is there any type of setup you want to see on the mender? Who's that? War Robot Warrior? 100,000. What was it? 100,000 what? There was 100,000 views for his video, and it was 30 minutes long. I don't know if you guys can answer this question for me. I don't know how they push out. So what I've been noticing is, one thing when I started watching it, before I put out videos, and I watched everybody else's, and I was like, you know what? I noticed that they screen record their games, they throw it in, and then they put in their nifty little intro, you know, and that's about it. And I was like, these videos are kind of boring to me. I mean, if I wanted to, you know, I don't know, look at game, I might as well just play it myself. So that's why I've been trying to get a little bit more fancy and do all the editing as far as the beginning goes, so that it's more of a kind of a quality, entertaining video. So I guess that's why it takes me so long to punch out videos, where some of these guys are punching out videos like every single day, which, you know, good on them. But I guess as far as my goal, it's to give you guys, the viewers, videos that are quality. It's not just, hey, I'm going to record my play and then just punch it out and gain viewers. I kind of want to put some love and care into it, because if you guys are going to take the time to watch it, then I'm going to take the time to make it almost like a movie for you. So, Bulwark Avenger. Let's try that. Let's try that. If you guys haven't ever seen the Ember on a Bulwark, the thing is crazy. Craziness. And as you can tell, like I told you, I consolidate a lot of my stuff. So as you can tell, I mean, I really don't have that much in, I guess, as far as my weapon stock. This is all the kind of the extra stuff that, you know, kind of knocks off the bots when you get new bots and stuff. So, and then as far as bots are concerned, you can tell I really don't, I don't have anything. I think that guy came from the little winning thing. So we put the Wayland in there and the Mender. Let's see if we can come up with a map that it's going to help our team with. A 100,000 subscribers. That blows my mind. That's so awesome for him, though. I've chatted with Adrian. He's given me some really priceless advice, so I got to hand it to him. All right, let's try this. This is let's try this. I'm gonna help my team. I'm gonna whip this dude out just because I didn't have anything else that I could really box with, and then we'll throw in the mender and the bulwark. Kind of came in a little late, so I'm gonna make a jump to see if I can nab anybody. I'm not going to use my jump just yet. I figured I'd take a little hit, and if I can use my jump, I'll save it to be able to take out at least a second guy. Right now, we could go crazy and get up all in their stuff, but I feel like we could actually take out maybe 1 or 2 more guys if we wait for our jump and reload. So let's do that rather than just rushing forward and going balls to the walls. Alright, let's see if we got some guys that need repair. So the mender, I've some friends from Noob, I think it's JJ, he throws on a Hydra and 2 spirals. I haven't used that build myself. And then I've also have a buddy who throws on the Orkin and then 2 Panadas. So, and then you see this with the Sparks and Scourge. I mean, 3 way different styles as far as playing with the mender. Man, nobody needs any healing. Jiragon, thanks for subscribing. Alright. So, I made a mender video, and one of my biggest comments was the hardest thing with the healing bots is not having comms if you're on solo random. And if you're on comms, what makes it advantageous to using your healing bot is this example right here. You want to come and heal this Pizzle guy, which he just died, and if I had comms or some type of way of communicating with him, I could have told him to come back about 15 meters, and he actually would have probably survived because I could heal them all the way. So with solo random play and playing with the healing bots, communication makes it really difficult to use them effectively. One awesome thing though is that it's the amount that you do heal, it's 1-to-1. So the amount of damage you heal on somebody, that's the amount of damage that you get yourself. So I'm gonna work our way up, and what's next? Oh, it's their beacon is next, and then our beacon. So I think we could chill out and just keep healing for a little bit until middle beacon comes up. I'm just going to heal him since we have it. And then know that also while you have your little heal phase on, your guy is supposed to be impenetrable to damage. I don't think he's fully impenetrable though, because even though I use it, I still take hits. So as far as that information about the mender goes, I would take that with a grain of salt. And then kind of the disadvantage with the Spark and Scourge is just that 3 seconds that it takes to lock on. It makes it pretty difficult to give kind of be reactive to situations. So that as far as those 3 other different combinations I told you about, the Orkin Panado or even like an Orkin Gust would be a good one to try out too, especially if you're in a shorter map, or even Carrier. Carrier I consider like a medium-sized map. I just want to make sure I get through your comments too, just in case. What's going on, Charlie Hernandez? Thank you for the big shout out. The shizzle. All right, let's see if we can end up with a map where we're throwing in that whaling. But I'm telling you, I hope to drop that video tonight. It's going to have a plethora of information, and then it's going to be broken up into 3 parts. So the first part's 40 minutes, and then the second and third part should be about 15-20 minutes each. So I call it a video reference guide, because it should have just about everything you need to know as far as what you can expect, as far as if you were to use that setup, how you could use it differently, and different maps that you would rather use it on. So that's why I think it should be a good video for everybody, whether you're a beginner or a pro. What's up, Man of Steel? Checking in. It was good playing with you last night, brother. All right. Let's just throw. I'll tell you what. If I threw the Flux in, I'd probably be in that bot the whole freaking game. So let's just throw the Whalen in, because you asked for it, and we don't want to be stuck in that guy the whole time. Even though it would have been a better bot to use right now at this instance. Because as you know, with the Whalen, it's kind of like that Raging dude. Creepy old little spider with big old legs. It moves like a snail. And he has these 2 heavy weapon slots. When he's healing, he has that big old circle around him, just like the Mender does. And again, with communication with the healing bots, it's so difficult, because right now this homeboy who's out in the middle is just getting pulverized. He's gonna die, and if we had communication, we could have said, hey, come on over here behind some cover and get some loving. I'll go ahead and juice you up a little bit. But you know, we weren't able to talk about that. So we'll do whatever healing we can, and then try to move on from here, just because we're down beacons. Might be able to just heal up Core Cashew a little bit, and then I'll probably use this bot just to throw off the dynamic of how this game is going, and see if we can start pushing for some beacons, because our guys are, look where our guys are. This is really not good map positioning for controlling the game. And then got that Butch over there waiting to throw out some long-range loving. So Core Cashew, if you would stop moving to the side, please, that'd be awesome. So what I'll try to do is I'll heal up Core Cashew. I'll start moving towards the left, but I feel like if I do that, those guys actually, by the time I get there, won't be in that same position. So I'm just going to move straight up through center and then start pushing middle beacon, or even their right. Because if you look at our beacon bar, we're not doing too well. What's up, Hell? If you guys all are familiar with Hell, he has his own channel, and Hell is on his way to 3,000 subscribers. So for the 22 people, 21 people watching, do me a favor, help him out, subscribe to his channel and help him get 3,000, man. Hell's an awesome guy, super good player who's been around. So we're going to push the right side, just because if you look at our beacon bar, we are not doing too well. So if you're on random solo and you're at 6 minutes and the beacon bars are where they are at right now, you might have to buckle on your pants a little tight and start changing the pace for the team, even if it means sacrificing your bot, which we're going to do. And we're going to throw in the flux, see if we can take down some energy, just because I don't want to end up with the flux as one of the kind of the last bots. See if we can drain down some energy of these guys in the back. I'm going to be taking a lot of hits, but if this game doesn't go anywhere, it's pretty much lost. So this is not the best hanger to use, definitely for this map. We just kind of stuck the Whalen in just for the hell of it. But the Norcons are going to come in handy right now for a lot of these guys with these little tidbit energies that we can just kind of bust off, especially for homeboy Grasshopper in the back. I'm gonna touch him up with some loving. Just say hi. There you go. So these Norcons are MK212 though, so they're pretty powerful. Really nice way to be able to say hello from a far distance without them being able to touch you. And again, the beacon bar is just sucking, so I'm just going to push. See if our team follows suit and make some of these guys come out of hiding. One thing with the Norcons, if he kind of gets right above me, if that guy would stop shooting at me, I went down. We'd be able to hit him from right above us. So since Vex is in the circle, we can't do anything. We're pretty much stuck unless our team comes in. So I'm going to drop the Hydras only because I have that Bulge Terran left, and that's going to be the best spot to end with. And since we have 3 minutes, it seems like Vex is just loving me. I feel like these homeboys are always after me. That Spectre is definitely going to be the next guy I'm looking at. So I'm pretty far back here. I'm going to keep on advancing just because we got 3 minutes left. There's nothing else we can do. Even if we bot, I mean, as far as that beacon bar is, we would be, basically we need 4 beacons for this game to go anywhere. So I'll do what I can with the Hydras while still pushing. And see if we can get that middle. And hopefully turn it white. We turned it blue. Alright. I don't think we'll be able to make this one, guys. So again, whoever else is on, if you can, like and comment on my channel, but as well help Hella out there with his subscribers and get him to 3,000, because that is an awesome mark to get. What do you guys say? Should we plant Should we do some squad play or keep on going on with solo? I'll leave it up to you guys. What's up, Charlie? What's happening? Han saying, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Jabir, do a squad? Alright, let's do that. Let's tell him we're in hangar. Let's change some of this around, only because it's not going to help the team out that much. One is, as much as I love the Mender, I feel like we can help the team out a little bit more if we replace him with something a bit more brawly. You know what? Hell, let's just keep him in there. Let's see how it goes. So I had, I think it was about the second test stream, the second test of live streaming. I tried to throw on some widgets, and it was Discord. So I threw on the Discord, and if you guys don't know Lawless, this guy, as you can tell in chat, he's saying comps. Lawless, his vocabulary is it's about 50% F-bomb and then 50% English. So I have to be somewhat careful when I'm on comms with Evan for the F-bombs. And that's just because, out of consideration, if there's any viewers in the, they have parents in the background and they hear that, I definitely want to consider that and not cause any trouble. So I know everybody's in different leagues as far as expert and master and champion. I know there are different clans within those leagues as well. I would say if there were any tips I could give you as far as clan play goes, from my experience playing with CDX, is just kind of becoming familiar with their style. And what I mean by that is you kind of understand how each person's going to move. Like, we didn't need 3 people all rushing middle, which kind of helps us conserve some bots. So as I'm coming out, they're coming in. And that's just kind of, as you play as a clan and as a squad together, you kind of start understanding that. As far as your style and their style, and they kind of start mixing and matching, as well as the game and the mode and how it should be played. CDX has their own strategies as far as gameplay goes, and I don't really think it differs hugely from how other clans play, especially when it comes to King of the Hill. It's your initial middle beacon is super key. If you can get that, then you have pretty much the advantage at the start. But then setting up for the next beacon. And in one of the live streams and videos, I talked about my experience playing against Home, who I felt as a clan and squad did a super good job. And I'm going to get rocked here. As far as what I noticed, as far as what they did and what you may be able to do with your own squads or clan, I'm gonna knock on the... Ah, I didn't get anything. Let's see if I can hit him back. I'll let you know what's good. Sorry, I'm like totally in the zone now and making sure I don't die. What I was going to say is I try to zero in more so on the specters with my vortex, just because they're a little bit more difficult to kill. And they have that, especially when you have 2 or 3 of them, it's really hard to come up with a straight up plan as far as timing, because you don't know when 1, 2, or those 3 are going to jump. What I was saying about home is if you can incorporate, you know, whatever I tell you as far as their gameplay strategy into yours, I feel like your clan or squad can do a lot better. And what they do is rather than everybody rushing into the middle initial beacon for King of the Hill, is they surround it first. And I thought it was really smart because it gives them the advantage of, one, not being all in front of the beacon. If you were to take Dead City, for example, everybody's just coming from spawn all on one side. They actually surround that little circle. And it would be okay for the other team to get that middle beacon, especially if they have it all surrounded. Because if you think about it, they'll turn it for maybe, what, 10 seconds? And it's maybe like 10% of that, how much of that beacon bar comes down as far as control of it. And then by surrounding it, they can pretty much kill everybody who's in that middle. So they're on their way to controlling that that first middle beacon, and then they're on their way to kind of controlling how many bots you have by meching you out. Once they do that, as soon as they gain control, they send 3 of their guys to the very next beacon, and they're already set up prior to even being at that beacon. And they'll do that while the beacon bar is kind of turning down. Another thing to know is if you're in a squad, being able to communicate with your guys and letting them know, hey, if you are moving to the next beacon, you need time to do that. So tell your guys not to sit on the beacon, because if you do, obviously the beacon bar starts coming down a little faster. So if you can get control of the beacon, you're not worried about the other guys. I gotta protect him. You're not worried about the other guys gaining control of that beacon. Don't sit on it. Have the other 3 just set up a perimeter, protect it, and have the other 3 guys go for the next beacon. And that's how home played it, as far as this one really standout time that we played against them, and they did a really good job and won. So right now, I mean, I'm not going to go crazy with this Hetchy, only because the name of the game is the beacons, and if I can conserve them, I can kind of still nip at these bulges that really don't have any advantage of shooting me unless they get right up on me. So I'm just going to keep nipping at him until he thinks about what he's doing. So now he's out of there, we can get to their middle. And it's next. Taylor, did you say I picked on little specters? Oh, with the vortex? I do. I will admit that. Those are the first things I go for. Faux show. Because they're the biggest pain in the booty. Especially with good players. And like Neo, they have good players. So I want to take out those specters, just be such a pain in the butt. So I'm going to wait for my jump. I'm going to jump on it, and I think I will be able to grab it. I mean, they're already meching out. I kind of have an easy play here for myself. Not only that, but I mean, we're going to squat a CDX, so. But it was, I'm hoping it was a full squad renewal. So again, remember that fire control. Don't hold it down all the way. I mean, kind of get used to knowing how much those orchid rounds take off of different bots. And I probably only needed a quarter of, you know, my full load. Who do I think is the best in CDX? I think that really depends on the type of question. Like, who's the best at getting a ton of damage? Who's the best at, you know, team play? Who's the best at strategy? It's kind of a varied question, if you will. Is that me avoiding the question? I think it is, huh? So that way I don't just name names. Who's the best at damage? Okay. I would say if you're looking at free-for-all, as far as that mode goes, when you're not playing in any squad, I have seen Emily. I think she goes by Emily now. I'm not sure. She changes her name every other hour, but I think she's going by Emily now. I think her last score was about like 3.2 million on FFA. So as far as FFA goes, she is. I'm glad I haven't had to play against her. Let's just say that much. Let's see if we can showcase this Spectre. Let's see how many people we can kill with the Spectre. But when I'm in a squad, his name's Alan. He goes by, he used to, what did he used to be? His name used to look like Alanaby, but it was Alan Abe, because I think it's Alan Abraham. But his name is now Juggernaut. I think his ability may be getting to his head or something. That's kind of the joke. But he does a really good job. I mean, his style is just a charge. He charges, and it's not exactly he's going for damage, but he's just that aggressive in a player. And he does a really good job at it. So with the Pursuer, oh my gosh, there's so many Spectres. We got to be really careful. Because we are so far. We have to do a 1-for-1 there. Alright. We gotta start playing seriously. Oh, can't believe I messed that up. Really concentrate. So yeah, Alan Abe does a really good job. I'm trying to think and then concentrate at the same time, so I apologize. I'm not good at commentating and playing at the same time. So this is going to be hairy because I don't have a jump and we need this beacon. And there are a ton of Spectres. Look at all these guys. This is crazy. I apologize to my team. I really wasn't concentrated in the beginning, which I should have. What's going on, Art of War? Yeah, okay, so back to the question. Sorry. CDX, if you guys are listening on the live stream, sorry, I'll pay more attention on the next game. So, yeah, and then Killswitch does a really good job. And then some of the veteran players, you have Kratos, Aw, Deadpool, I mean, they've all been around. So, let me see if I didn't answer any questions. Is it? Sorry, I put on, I guess I had this option of whatever this like comment moderator thing is. So I'm just like pressing on it. If you guys want to comment whatever, I gotta find out how to change it. So if whatever you guys want to say, it'll just be put up there. I really don't mind. Oh, Nail. Yeah, Nail has a moment, I gotta say. Sometimes they do a pretty good job. They're a good clan. They have some strong players. So here's Kratos. And then Kratos, the first time I met Kratos on Discord, it surprised the heck out of me. Because, I mean, I consider my voice pretty plain and monotone and boring. But Kratos has this country-ass accent. I mean, he's like, "What's up, man? What's going on?" If I had an accent like that, I would probably try to pick up on girls every single day at the grocery store in the frozen food section with that accent. Just, it's awesome. I wish I had an accent like that. So cool. Not to say any other accent isn't as cool. I wish I had an accent, period. I don't know if he drives a tractor. That would be awesome to find out. I'm going to have to ask him to find out. That's a good question. Alright. I usually run Norcoms, always just off the bat on as far as this map goes. I think it's Dom. I hope it was. If it was BR, I would have ran a little Strider just to grab mid. Make sure we had keeping control. But I think it was Dom. And I've been changing my style with Norcoms and trying to, I'll do, I don't know if you can see on the screen, but I do fast taps rather than holding down. Only because the Norcoms, as I've been paying more attention to them, the rounds expel down really quickly, and they take forever to reload. So instead of just holding down the button, I just press it really fast, and I feel like that's kind of, I guess you could say, improve my efficiency on play with them. And the reason why I do that is because just as the players, either they may have a dash or they may move to the side, you don't get all of they won't all contact if you hold it down. So by tapping, I can kind of reserve a lot of the rounds that may have missed, possibly have missed. we're going to throw in some dragoons. And I had one question in the comment section on how I play the dragoons on the Fury, and he was asking why I cycle it. And what he meant was I'll press 1, 2, 3, and then I'll hold it down like this. And the reason why I play that style is because pretty much every opponent you're going to be firing at is moving. So if you miss him once and you just fire all 3, I'll try to make an example. Wait until we get in range. So like this guy, if I just hold it down, oh, he died. Like this guy, if I just hold it down, he moves to the side. I would have missed, say, 1 or 2 of those shots. That was actually 1 or 2 shots of 3 cannons. So I cycle it to ensure that I kind of improve my chance of direct hits for each cannon, especially for a moving target. I'm not sure if I guess it kind of depends on style. Try it out, see how it works. If it works for you, then man, tell me, comment, and let me know, and I will jump up and down and do jumping jacks and celebrate with you that it works better for you. But if it doesn't, then I apologize, and I won't do jumping jacks. But it's just if you haven't seen it, heard about cycling it, I shouldn't know that was going to happen. Then try it out. And this is probably one of the worst spots to put your dragoon in. I think I did it just because I was paying more attention to trying to cycle cycle the shots. Again, I'm still getting used to doing a live stream, commenting, and playing at the same time. Oh man, okay, so if you're playing on an iPhone, yeah, I don't blame you. That has got to be a pain in the butt. The last time I played on a phone was probably about a year and a half ago, and I did it for about a day, and I was done. I mean, I just played extremely terrible. Granted, I'm going from playing on this iPad Pro that's like 12.9 inches to a phone that's like, what, 6 inches or something like that. So I credit you playing on a phone. That's awesome. So I guess when we're talking about Mentor setup, this is definitely, a map and mode where your Spark and Scourge build is going to be much more advantageous to either a Hydra, or some Orkans. And I'm going to try to get out of line of sight from this other player that has the shock train, so I don't kill Kratos from a reflection, and try to heal him. And then just stay behind cover until I get my my heal time down, and then maybe I'll be able to just charge him and kind of get rid of him. Unless we got somebody else here. So what I'm doing is just looking around for who's by me that I can maybe heal and make the use out of the spot. But I think the best use is going to be just to bum rush this guy on the left and get him out of this awesome position. So what I'll do is just try to make sure I'm out of... Yeah, somebody's behind me. Yeah. Oh, we just ran out. I should have been more cautious about that. But at least we were able to heal ourselves. But Taylor, yeah, I'm not sure how small the buttons are on an iPhone. Just try it out. See if it works, if you can. and it may just help out. But as you said, it's pretty difficult on a phone. So I'm bum rushing up. I'd probably be more conservative if we were down on beacons, but we're not. I'm noticing that they only have 4 guys to our still full squad, and I still have my Bulwark to play around. So I'm definitely not playing as conservative, that's for sure. I'm just gonna see if I can back up. No, I can't. So really, ideally, we're doing really good. If they were starting to push hard and they grabbed middle, I could really just, as you can tell, they're meching already. Just run down this ramp and grab the right beacon, so we'd still have a good win. And the best thing about this, if you guys are playing in some of the lower leagues or even champion, is one of the biggest things is having control of the bridges. It's one, but definitely both if you can. That definitely gives you the vantage point and map control, especially for your mantel. So if you're in some of the lower leagues and you guys are looking on, wondering about strategy and how to control this map better against some of the other clans that you guys play, the biggest thing is having control of these bridges. And once you have middle beacon control, you can really just clear out of center because it's just a kill box. If you have control of the 2 bridges, you have control of the middle. As long as you're within that range of their ramp side to keep them off that ramp. Taylor, you don't have any range bots. What's your biggest range bot you do have? If you get the chance, Taylor, send me screenshots of your hanger and anything else that other bots that you may have in the garage and your weapons, and maybe I can help you out. And then we can talk about prioritizing your upgrading and stuff. So I was talking to Taylor the other day on chat, and we were talking about deep dish pizza. And I was telling her, wait, Taylor, are you a male or female? I apologize. So I was telling Taylor about deep dish pizza and how good it was. And Taylor has not had deep dish pizza. So Taylor, I apologize, you're a male. So I was telling him how good deep dish pizza was, and if he didn't like it, then I would give him a free, not like it's worth anything, but like an RPD gaming t-shirt. And it just so happens that I don't have to give him a t-shirt now because he liked the deep dish pizza. So I don't know how many other of you who are tuning in right now like deep dish pizza, but I love deep dish pizza. It's so good. You can even, after you eat some, stick it in the refrigerator, pull it out the next day cold, and eat it like that, and it's just as good. And if any of you don't know, you can see that Man of Steel is on here. Man of Steel just got with CDX. He was with Predator for like about 2 years. And he was the head honcho over there with Predator. Man of Steel, you got kind of a country accent a little bit too. So if I had his accent too, I'd definitely walk around everywhere, going picking up on girls. Pizza Hut deep dish, they do got some good deep dish. So we're playing TDM. So the way CDX plays TDM is, obviously, if you haven't played us already, to drop Hydras, and that's the way the game has just turned. And that's only because everybody drops range bots in the beginning. So as far as my part goes, I'm usually the Noricum guy. So if you're playing in a squad, talk with your guys if you're in a clan and discuss your tactics. Have a plan as far as who's going to drop what and when. It'll really help out with your gameplay and kind of how the game plays out during those 10 minutes, especially if one person dies. And if you have two guys that are running hydras and they both die, you know what's going to be replacing those hydras. And then my role as far as the Norcums go, I would say I put a lot of priority into any of the Spectre Hydras as well as the Spectre Shock Trains. The reason why is because they have the most, I'd say, the better ability to kind of move their way around the map with their jump and stealth and everything else. So with the Norcums, if I can force them to jump when they don't want to, it doesn't give them the chance to be able to set up and jump and either shock or release their hydras in a advantageous position. So that's what I'm doing, as you can tell. And if you take that away from them, it kind of gives you that advantage and control of their play. And it's kind of, that's the way the game goes, is kind of taking away whatever advantage that bot has. And then your second priority is noticing who's coming in closer on your guys. And kind of getting an idea of what they may be in. So that guy's within 300, so my Norcums aren't going to do anything. But what I can do is kind of take down this shield. I can kind of run diversion as well. It's just pop out, pop back in, so he shoots at me and he doesn't shoot at working over there. He may have taken half my energy, but if he focused all on working, he could have killed him. And that's just style of play. I mean, I wouldn't say it's the most conservative, but that's my style of play as far as how my team style of dynamics goes. I try to look out for the teammates and making sure that they stay alive, and if I may get energy off, hopefully I'll still stay alive as well. Who do we got in here? Death 534. What's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Dark Shadow, what's happening? I'm just dropping Norcum bombs right now. Trying to showcase how they are, how we or I play with them in TDM while I'm not paying attention here and getting my head blasted off by Dragoons in the back. But it's okay because we're up 15-4, and if this were reversed, say it was 4-16 right now as far as a TDM match, and you're either in squad or random solo, I would definitely recommend just saying, hey, you know what, I'm going to drop my Norcums right now. These guys are up 17 and, you know, we're down, and would switch it to a different bot. So let's just pretend that these scores are reversed and 19 of our guys are dead. I would probably drop a nice good brawler where I could go in and start catching up on kills. So let's just, for instance, let's just go ahead and pretend that were the case. And get in on the action, because these guys are definitely starting to move in. They know that they're down, so they're going to start fighting harder, and that's the way every kind of way the TDM plays out, is when you know you're down, you start pushing. And if you are in that position, such as these guys where they are down and you are pushing, make sure you don't start pushing too carelessly. I mean, even though you're down, it doesn't mean you need to just bum rush 2 or 3 guys all at the same time. Still try to keep a good head on your shoulders. Keep your head on a swivel and make sure you're making wise decisions, even though you're down. See if I can divert some of the shots. And there's pretty much only one guy left. So we'll just let him be. It's a little unfair for all 5 of us to kill him. But let me get back to You guys. So our team uses me as bait. I would say I use myself as bait. That's just my style. If I notice a teammate's getting shot out, if I have a stride or whatnot, I'll stride in and stride out just to divert some of the fire and not so the whole bomb doesn't go on my one partner. Death534. Yeah, I play on iOS. I've been interested in finding out what it's like to play on the other platforms, but just haven't had the time to get to it. Man of Steel. What is my favorite map and why? Oh my god, you're so funny. Is this your battle? Sergio, no, I don't have a battle record count. I wish I did. The farthest I've gotten with contact with Pixonic is really just I emailed them a couple of the latest videos to see if they could showcase them, but really haven't heard back from them. But hey, if you know anybody at Pixonic, man, tell them to give me a call. I would love to test stuff out for them and be a part of them. Thank you for subscribing. Oh man, online air handshake right here. Thank you for subscribing. I really appreciate it. So yeah, as far as TDM goes, let's say initially starting, if there was something you wanted to invest in, I would say invest in the Hydras first, especially if you already have your brawlers. Invest in some Norcums, especially if you play in a squad. Plan it out, and either you're the person with the Norcums or the person with the Hydras. Shabir, VIP points? VIP points for what? I'll give you 100. How about that? I don't know if it has any monetary value. It doesn't. I can't say they'll do anything for you in life, but you get 100 VIP points. And then Death. What is XD? I've played, I mean, Sorry Loco is in CDX, but I'm not sure what XD is. Oh, for supporting. Do you get VIP points for supporting? You get my love VIP points, if that means anything. I don't know if there's YouTube VIP points. Let me know, and I'd be more than happy to help you out on that. If there's any way I can help you, please let me know. Oh, you didn't? You're asking somebody else? But Man of Steel, what is my favorite map and why? Shit, that's a hard question, man. Jeez. I would say my favorite map is the Moon map, because Vortex is my favorite weapon. I love playing with the Vortex, and that is the best map for the Vortex. Faux show, in my opinion. Alright, what was it? Dom? Playing against UN. So as you know, I mean, I talk to myself a lot, so depending on map, mode, and the people we play, really depends on what I drop and what hanger I drop and what bots I drop when. You'll notice, I mean, there are some clans that like to hang back and chill out. There's some clans that just bum rush you like there's no tomorrow and it's Armageddon. And that really dictates how I play that particular clan on a particular map and mode. Let's see if I can give him a lift here. So that's what I did. I don't know if I would say it's a trait. I trademarked Move It, but I like to call it the Lift. It's kind of a dangerous move. So with a Spectre, obviously you guys know that he can jump and he'll be in stealth. And if you can get close enough to somebody and jump them, you'll be in stealth, and hopefully you get to him at a time where he has already kind of fired a lot of shots, or he's just dropping out of his spawn area. When you jump him, when you lift him, since you're in stealth, he's unable to shoot you. But another advantage is you're kind of in the air at a level where players around you really aren't going to be at the same height, since you're in a jumping motion. So you're going to be at a constantly different height. So they shouldn't be able to cross-target you from some other player. So I do what you may have seen, which I call which I call the lift. So I lift him up in the air and I stay attached to him and I shoot him. And I just do that, one, because it's fun. I could very easily just jump away, but that's considering if I've already planned where I know I want to jump. And sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm just like, oh crap, dude, this guy's right here, and he's right in front of me, so I'll lift him. It's really fun. It's not only a fun move, but it's a cool move to have on video too. It looks pretty sweet. So if you can, you get the chance to do it, try it out. And if you get it on video, dude, you gotta drop me a message. Send it to me. I gotta check it out. I'd love to see somebody else do it. Shabir, you said you bought $200 cash in, what's 8 pool? You gotta forgive me, I am like naive in a lot of jargon and stuff. I don't get out much. I'm like a little hobbit. Ah, man, that hurts. That hurts. Come on. Easy, easy with that. Easy. So the thing with the Strider is, the more you play with it, the more... Oh, I should have seen that guy. He's just chilling there. The more you play with him, you get used to his speed. And I got to stay out of that shock shoot. That guy's just waiting. He's at my booty. What I've kind of noticed recently is he's fast enough to back up away from Orkin shots. Kind of like in the days of, I forget, I think it's called the Rogata, when the Rogata was able to kind of let his shield down and just back away, and you wouldn't be able to hit him with your Orkins. And I'm not going to rush that guy just because he's way too far away and he would have hid behind one of those things. We need beacons, and so my best bet is to go for this middle. And I'm not going to go for it just yet because I may die, and Megacon's already in there. So I'm going to wait for that stealth as long as I don't die right now. I may be able to take this guy out as soon as his stealth goes. Oh, oh, he ruined it. There's no love for RPD right there. No love. When I see sunlight, it burns me. Dude, it feels like it does, man. Oh my goodness. I need to put a tanning booth inside my apartment to make sure I'm getting some UV and some base coats, huh? You know, it's funny because I'm from California, and my brother just got married in Costa Rica, and this was like a couple months ago. So I'm out there, and I show up to Costa Rica. It's at this all-inclusive hotel, and if you don't already know, I'm in Pennsylvania right now, and Pennsylvania weather is nowhere near California weather, which is where I'm from, California, I feel like I'm almost tan all year round. So I'm an Asian dude, so I would say I don't tan the easiest. I don't have no golden brown Brazilian tan, which I wish I did. But when you say that the sunlight burns me easily, I slap on shorts and they're like, "Oh my God, you have been living in Pennsylvania for a little while." My legs are all hella white, but my t-shirt arm tan was nice and tan, and that was about it. So guys, bottom line from that is you are exactly right here. But not as far as a vampire. I give myself a little credit. A little bit. As soon as I get the streaming down where we don't have to worry about all those bars and glitches and everything, all these settings are running smoothly, I promise I'll put on webcam so it can be a little bit more interactive. And then I can prove to you that I'm not as white as a vampire. Shabir, do you play with UN? Oh, after you left them? Yeah, especially for Dreadnought. So we were actually talking about this as far as strategy-wise. I mean, one thing I don't talk about is the specific strategies that CDX has, but this is kind of an open topic. So as far as Dreadnought goes, if you guys are playing in your squads or with your teams, one thing that CDX initially planned was to have, hold on, what are we choosing here? Is to take control of the side beacons. And the reason why is because you'll notice that one of the side beacons on Dreadnought is kind of on this lower slant that gives you free access to the roof, and the other one is just kind of on the lower side. But the middle beacon, which seems where it's kind of a common place to go, is actually kind of a kill box if the other team has control of the two side beacons. Now, where this discussion was kind of taking a turn was that I was commenting, at least from my viewpoint, is that control of the two side beacons only comes in handy is if really you're on beacon rush mode. And that's because beacon rush allows you to kind of spawn from those two same side beacons and not have to come back all the way from the start. Whereas if it's Dom, with Dom you have to come back all the way from the beginning, and that really depends on when and who dies out of your team during the game. So if you're playing Dreadnought, then the initial goal is to have control of the two side beacons, which is definitely the way to go. And you're playing Dom, you need to change up your strategy as far as a little after planning. So after you get control of the two side beacons, what weapons are you using, who's using them, and what position they're in. And that'll help you kind of dictate whoever dies what weapon they should drop next and where they should go, with the key in mind of keeping replacing a player who died wherever they are. Because in my opinion, a lot of players, you have a strategy that you do try to follow, yet they kind of revert back to their player style, and they lose some of that strategy. They may see a guy, they're like, oh my god, he's either killing my guy, so I'll go to the left side even though there's 4 over there already, and you end up losing the right. But that's getting into some serious planning and some serious gameplay. But this just comes from, when I talk about that, it comes from kind of my military experience and understanding how to control a certain environment, if you will. And then just know that if you guys are in a squad, or you guys are in your clan, and you guys make a plan, know that even though you have a plan, rarely does any plan ever go exactly how it should. So if it doesn't and you guys lose, don't get upset at each other, you know. It's kind of hard to, I mean, this is a bad place to be. Don't take advice from what I'm doing right now. I'm just kind of concentrating more on talking than anything else. Yeah. If your plan doesn't go as planned and people are just like, what the, you know, we shouldn't have lost that. Our plan is like super solid. No plan ever goes as it's planned to be. Maybe that's what interests me in gameplay, is kind of, from my experience from deployment, is just everything's changing at the moment. This pretend combat situation is a dynamic that's ever changing. So, and a plan is very static. It's saying, I'm going to go here based on this one thing, when a million things could happen. So make sure you guys have a just a good connection where you can say, you know what, that didn't work that well. How could we change it for next time? And it'll keep your clan nice and tight, and a much better positive attitude, and most likely people will play better from that. And right now I am getting rained on by this Leo that's shooting me at like 650 meters away. That feels like he's freaking 2,000 meters away. We're going to go ahead and take care of him real quick. He's becoming a nuisance. One thing that I do is change my focus on targets and prioritize one thing. So if you notice that I'm kind of looking over to my right, is the Spectre Shock Train. To me, he's more of a threat than the Lancelot is. So before I did it, I wanted to explain why I decided to go ahead and take care of him instead of initially taking care of that Lancelot. Arash, what's going on? Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. So right now what I'm glancing at is how many players we have, they have, how many beacons we have, and how much time we have. So as far as how I play, I constantly check on that just to make sure we're in a good position. If we weren't, from the bots that I have, I probably wouldn't be dropping this dude. I'd probably have dropped that Bulwark with the Ember to, if our positions were reversed and they had 3 beacons, so that way we can get beacon control. But since we're kind of chilling, doing good, I'm gonna roll this little Menor bot and go have some fun. And go heal some people if I can. Give them some loving. So I'm gonna press on the heal. And see, notice how my energy is still going down a little bit. I don't know if you've heard the same thing, that he's supposed to be impenetrable to damage, but it didn't appear that way to me. Let's try it again. Let's go full on. Let's just test this out. Let's get crazy. I'm going to load up first. Just ran out of time. So you turn to the side. Do you do that with every bot or with particular bots? Because I know that, right, some bots have more armor on their sides than others do. Right? Or does that go for all bots? I mean, maybe I'll learn something new here. Reveal all the CDX secrets. So I'll do that, Taylor. So tomorrow when I wake up and I'll start playing War Robots, I'll be like, oh, where did my clan tag go? For the Stalker or the Spectre. Okay. I'll have to look that up. I'll have to look that up if they're extra armored on the side. But if you say it helps, I'll definitely try it out. I'll take your word for it. So who do we have playing with us? So Vortex. If you guys don't know, IMP, awesome clan. Sucks to play with them because they're really good. Volchara, I don't know he's playing this. He used to be with IMP. Superfly. If you don't know who Superfly is, man, this is one of the coolest cats in the whole wide world, man. If you ever get the chance to play with him. He is a super good team player. And what I mean by that is, you have some guys that play good as a team as far as like backing you up and whatnot. But in some modes, the point of the game is to get the beacons. And so, as far as him, he's really good at, you know, just going for those beacons and going for the win. Whereas some guys are, you know, all after damage. They'll help the team win, but they don't do anything for the beacons. So every little bit helps. Everybody has their role. Not to knock anything. Heat is awesome, man. You know what? I love playing with Heat, especially on comms, because they are all cool and they're all chill. So if you guys ever get the chance to friend one of them on Facebook and then squad with them, definitely get on Discord, because those are some fun cats. Really cool people. And funny. Alright, so we're in T... is this all noob? Holy shnikes. This will be interesting. Alright. So I'm going to drop Hydra up first. Usually I probably drop... You know what? I shouldn't have dropped this hanger because I'm stuck with those stupid fluxes. But this is the hanger I have my Hydras in. And kind of necessary for all these Spectre shock trains that you saw that were initially dropped. And this is going to hurt my team, but I didn't organize my hanger beforehand. But that's okay. We're just having fun. So again, as I said, I guess the way I use the Hydra is to kind of push jumps out of Spectres so they jump when on my turns and not on their turns. And then I'm also, as far as my style, is just kind of scanning to see where my guys are at and where their guys are at, and making sure we're not outnumbered in different places. So they have a Hetchy over there, and the Hetchy energy shield is something that bugs me because Megacon's in Tulumbas, and if this Hetchy were to come, especially through mid, his Tulumbas really aren't going to be able to do anything. So if I can, I'm going to work down that energy shield for whatever I can do while we're just kind of waiting out time. Since I really don't have to worry about the Spectre who's not in a position that can jump and shock me. And I'm going to try to start getting in a better position to be able to hit a lot more of these players than just these two. So I switched up in the middle only because I knew those two were Spectres, and I didn't want to waste a whole round of Hydras on one of the Spectres when I know he's going to jump, and the rest of those Hydra missiles would have just flown off into the air after he jumped up and did his jump stealth. So I don't know. You can try it yourself and see if it works for you. But if I were to fire it all at them, I would pretty much would have just wasted a third of a load of all the hydras. So we're 1-7 now. I'm kind of thinking about dropping, and I would drop these hydras, but I don't have the hanger to do that. So that's why I'm not going to drop the hangers and get in more of a brawl type of bot and use like a shock train or something to kind of work these guys down. But unfortunately, I put my team in kind of a sucky position with the hanger that I have. So hopefully, if Noob posts this, this is proof that I'm in a sucky hanger. Kind of unfair. That's my excuse for us losing. The best one I got at this time. I'll come up with a better one later. So I'm going to come right only because that's where these Spectre shotguns are hanging out, and I really want to start taking some of those deep out. Oh, noob. I think I'm busted here. I don't think I'm able to get away. Alright. It's time to die for this guy. Wow, that's a lot of them. We have crap. Why do we have this hanger, everybody? Oh my goodness. Oh, don't pick on the Norton guy. Come on. Come on now. That's just mean. I guess at least I can make him jump. That's about it. Ugh. Well, that was fun. Yeah, as soon as I dropped that hanger, man. Yeah. We got a little time left. You guys want me to still play in a squad, or you guys want to see solo play? Up to you guys. What do you want to do? What's the poor patent? That's what I'm saying. Picking on the patent. I feel like I kind of played the Pursuer a little bit. I think I should have warmed up with him a little bit more, but hopefully gave you. I think we could probably. Let me know if you guys want to see the Bulwark Avenger a little bit more, because I feel like I gave a glimpse of what he's able to do. It wasn't impressive, not as impressive as some other games I've had him in. Right now I'm just trying to pull out, see who's available. Where are these homeboys? There's Poncho. What's going on, Rick Alvis? So do any of you play in Champion League? Oh, thank you. If there's one thing that I despise doing in War Robots, that's leading a squad. I hate driving the bus. Arash, do I have you on friend list? I'll be able to pull you in as long as no CDX guys are waiting, just because that's the rules. So with that said, what's your name, Arash? I'm looking for you, buddy. Which one are you, my friend? If I have anybody else in my friend list and you guys are on right now, tune in, let me know. Pull you in. I'll probably play about 1 or 2 more games. Alright, let's do this. So please be on the lookout for that. If you guys are wondering more about the Wayland bot, as far as whether you should get it, if you have it, what kind of build to put on it, what to expect with it in different maps. This first video should have a plethora of stuff for you. And then there's 2 more videos about the Wayland coming out. I had to break it up because I put so much into it. There's so much stuff. I agree, the Wayland is shit. That's why mine is leveled at 10 and it's not maxed at all. Oh, you gotta love those fluffs. Not really. Even though I have it, I hate them so much. They're so bothersome. Oh, these lasers. It's like a rave over here. My goodness. Freaking Scourge, Gecko, Flux. You guys are having a light show. So that guy on the right probably pretty much going to get taken care of. I'm going to kind of work on getting in range for this Flux guy and seeing if I can kill off some of his energy. While trying to stay alive. And I am going to avoid that Inquisitor and get out of his range and see if I can do some damage. What I'm trying to do is actually work my way to the top and just go straight up attack that relay that's up there. Or whatever that is. Oh, it's a pattern. So I'm gonna get nice and close and personal with that guy. And then I'm gonna work on that Fury. One thing with the Inquisitor, if they have the Ember, try it as much as you can. Even though he's going to hit you with his Terran, he's moving side to side. So that way his Ember doesn't hit you, or at least stay on contact with you. Did I make a whole documentary on the Wayland to realize it's shit? Pretty much. However, I would say in a good clan squad against another clan squad on like a TDM in a long map, the Wayland can go pretty far. And then if planned correctly, could actually work well in Dom as well. But yeah, I guess you could say it was a new bot that I felt would be of interest, but then at the same time kind of give viewers an ability to see something that they may have not seen before. And that's just me. I put a lot of love and effort into my videos, and just to make sure that, I mean, if you're going to watch it, I'm going to put extra time into making sure it's worth your while. And that's just my style. I don't like putting out just recording a video, slapping my title on it, and then throwing it out there. If you guys have any questions, let me know. So I'll just bring out this Fury. I think we I mean, we're against a group of random, so it's kind of an unfair game at the start. I'll pull out the Dragoons just to see if we can finish this up a little bit quicker. I don't have to be in so close. and I really have no other options besides that Bulwark. And, if you haven't played the Bulwark before, it can be great if you have some distance on it, but anything less than 300, you're almost kind of just like a little sitting meat target for a Spectre, especially with orchids. I was glancing at your question, Taylor, but I kind of glanced back to the screen. I promise I'll get right back to it as soon as I finish off this page. How much ass do I consume on the daily? How much ass? Can you clarify your question for me? I feel like there's multiple ways to take that. Like, how much booty do I get? Solid butt cheeks. So your question to me is, how much sex do I have on the daily? Is that what you're asking? Oh, how much eating ass. Gotcha. Okay. It's around the amount of 0. I've never eaten ass. I don't eat ass on a daily. But if there's something you could tell me about it that I may not know, that'd be great. Is it something you would recommend? Is there a good health benefit to it that you found as far as in eating solid butt cheek ass? Ketchup and salt. Well, that's important for flavor. What's going on, Joe Milrose? Hey, you guys, thanks for tuning in. I was planning on just doing this for about a couple hours, kind of kicked it a little bit longer for about 20. So for the next things, you know what I'm going to do is just ensure that I double check the settings that I have it on now and make sure they stay that way, so that way we don't get those black bars again. And then I will incorporate some cams, and that way we can be a bit more interactive. But do me a favor, like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you guys want to see in a live stream for the next time, and I'll be sure to incorporate it. Otherwise, other than that, keep on the lookout for the mender. Even if it's not a bot that you're going to buy, it'll give you ways as far as how you can counter the bot, good ways to go around it, good ways to kill it, whatever. There's a lot, so much material in it. So I appreciate everybody tuning in. Thank you so much. Thank you for subscribing, and thank you for your time, and thank you for even participating in the chat. It's been awesome. I hope to see you guys next week, and this is Rice Patty Daddy. I'll see you folks next time. Thanks a lot.